Wonderful. Well, I just wanted to start out as a business owner, the roof is the largest cost on a building. And a lot of businesses I've found don't realize that there's incentives or there's different ways that you could go really about skinning that cat, as we
Yeah,
would say. Can you share a little bit about how these incentives kind of play into a commercial roof?
sure. Yeah, most of our customers end up, putting off doing the roof. We can get another year out of it. Let's patch it a little more. But when they find out there's actually incentives off the cost of the roof, sometimes it causes them to, like, instead of doing this one little section, let's do the whole thing and let's get it done. But so there's multiple different incentives involved when you combine certain projects with solar. So some people might not be a fan of solar, but if you do need a new commercial roof, you might want to check out how the numbers work, because anywhere between 30%, 40%, and sometimes even 50% tax credit that's just one of the incentives you get off the cost of a brand new roof as a combined package with solar. So when you put that number in there, plus they're also allowed bonus accelerated depreciation on the whole thing.
Wow.
Normally, they'd have to wait the 39 and a half years, depending on what their tax guy says, 39 years to put it in a depreciation schedule when they can do it right away. In the first 5 years, they can take it how they see fit. And then when you add the other incentives that go along with it, it's probably worth looking at some numbers. And if they decide, no, I'm just going to do the roof by themselves, then that's a decision they'll at least be making an informed decision.
Right. And that's incredible. You said anywhere from 30 to 40 to 50% tax savings?
Well, it's actually a tax credit.
Tax credit.
At the year that it's 80% complete, the IRS, you show them, submit the project as a roof solar project. You can't do the roof 1 year and then wait a couple of years and do solar and get anything back on that roof. It has to be considered in the same moment of time. I mean, obviously, sometimes the roof might go on and the solar goes on like the next year, but it's meant to be one project. And the IRS will give 40% tax credit. If right now in Chicagoland, it's 40% tax credit. Nationwide, it's 30%. And then there's other qualifiers in there that could maybe, depending on the specific address, make it go even higher.
Okay.
But that's the first incentive. And by adding those other incentives, you actually end up getting an ROI on a roof that you normally would just have to write a big check for and just depreciate it over 39 years. So,
wow, incredible. Those savings sound, to me, if I was a business owner, something that I would definitely want to look into. And I know you mentioned ROI there briefly. Can you talk a little bit more about return on investment? And if I were a manufacturer owner, I was an owner of manufacturing facility, how I can really see an ROI on a project?
sure. I can give you a real example. We just closed on a project that there was 3 locations. They were moving to 1 location. So it was a bigger facility. And so we took the 3 energy bills, put them all together, and they picked a building that needed a roof. And they wanted to get everything nice in that building before they move in. So they wanted a new roof. They wanted new rooftop units. They wanted solar, and they even wanted EV chargers.
Oh, wow.
So we put together a program to do the whole thing, full turnkey. And when we added up all of the project costs from all of those components, it was like $1.75 million. And over the course of 7 years and during that short window, most of the incentives come in year 1, but then the state incentives here last for 7 years. But when you add up the incentives, it actually was 1.7 million. So incentives cover pretty much all of it except 60,000. And the energy savings from the system we installed saved them $65,000 a year.
$65,000 a year.
So it takes a little time because the incentives come at different times, different places, but they literally got an ROI in really short order.
Wow, that's incredible.